Alright, so I'm just gonna run through kind of a search algorithm, a very small function that you could use to create more advanced searches. So I did this in my customer chatbot tutorial that I either recently released or is about to release. So I'm just going to go through what I did there. So you could use this to kind of enhance your search queries. If you were to be querying something from a database, something as basic as like is very a like query is efficient enough, but after you pull down the results from the database, you could also use this to make that more effective. Alright, so the first function is compare two words, right? And what it does here is pretty basic. We have two words, word 1 and word 2. You can see that here. And so word 1 and word 2. And what we're doing with this then is we trim it. So trim removes the white space. So trim removes the white space, and string to lower, which is how I pronounce it, but it's str to lower. What it does is makes everything common. So we call those two functions on the both words that we enter into the function, and then all we do is we use string position. Str position is the name of the function, and using it like this allows us to check if word 1 is within word 2. Alright, so we just check it to see if we find any matches there. So if you find a match, we return true. If you don't find a match, we return false. So what you would do is you would run through a list of words and you'll check to see if there are any matches. Alright, so this is convert search query is where you actually get in the user query. So a user might say, I want to find a laptop. So that is a full sentence. So if they were Googling it, they would say, I want to find a laptop. Or what you need to do now is convert that into something that you can use to actually query the database or any storage method that you're using. So I want to find a laptop. So the user enters a query, and what we want to do is we use the explode function. So the explode function is here, and what we do is we use that to break the words that the user querying into an array. So I want to find a laptop becomes I is one item in array, want is another item. Alright, so the queries is now a list of all the words that the user has in their query. And now we run through those words, and what we do then is we say in array, and what we're actually doing here, we have a function called get stopwords. And if in the next slide I have a list of stopwords, and basically these are words you could totally ignore, so that when you run in your query you don't want to consider these things at all, because they would void the results, they'll make the results unnecessary, because you'll have a lot of I's and ifs and A is an R, so you don't really want to check for those matches. So that's why you call get stopwords. So we check to see if any stopwords, and if the word isn't a stopword, of course we call trim to remove any white space, then we add it to our query. So this is what we do to actually get the actual results, the actual query that the user is asking. So I want to find a laptop. We might only take find and laptop. Those two words is the full query, and that is all we need to do, and we just send that to whatever we're using to search for it. Well, we would actually be calling this function here, compare two words, right? So this is our simple search algorithm. So we have compare two words. Again, you would be comparing words based on, in the example I just gave, it would be find and laptop. So whatever you have in a database, you'd be searching for something find and laptop. So you'd be comparing those two words, and you want to find the highest amount of matches. And of course, this is where we actually convert the search query to just get those two words, find and laptop. And this is the stopwords. This last slide here, we have the stopwords, where we kind of remove all the words we don't want. Alright, and that allows us to clean up the query. Alright, so that's it for today.